What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Kerbal Space Program video. Here in today's video, what we're looking at doing is setting up some communications satellites. I don't believe I did a single manned mission during this gameplay here. It's all just going to be robots being sent into orbit. We're going to be going to, of course, high orbit on Kerbin. We'll also be going into high orbit from the moon. And then we will also, additionally, be going into orbit around Minmus, the second moon, or whatever in the world you want to call it, to Kerbin. So here we are building the first iteration of the satellite here. I used a couple pieces from, the default saved ship that is the satellite. And this is going to be the ship that's going to get us into orbit around Kerbin. Very, very easy. I think it kind of took me a couple tries, really. But yeah, because that wasn't really set up properly right there. For some reason it wasn't attached, so I had to bring it back and attach some more of those things to make it suspended in the air. Quite a bit more, as you can see. We definitely needed those. But just making sure everything looks good on the tree on the left, and we have a successful, very, very successful takeoff so far. Nothing seems to be going wrong, and we're sending ourselves all the way to orbit around this massive Johnson. And here we're going to have the first separation. We'll see if it goes smoothly. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, it does. Not a problem. Accelerate. I believe one of the times in here we do end up having a bit of a problem on separation at some point, and end up getting in a bit of trouble. I think there was quite a few different iterations I even did in the next episode, which we start working more on the space station that we had. It took me quite a few times to rendezvous with the space station, but here we are trying to get to our I believe it's the apoapsis, maybe it's the periapsis, I don't know, I'm an idiot, and start our burn, get into orbit. Now we're going to do a bit of a longer burn, get into a nice high orbit around the planet, which is going to get us set up real good for massive, monumental communications. It's really going to set us up for communications. We're going to be dialed in for some, we're going to be able to communicate. Could you imagine how much communication we're going to be able to do? The amount of communication we're going to be able to do is monumental amount of communication. You won't even believe the communication we're going to be able to do, I'm going to be able to send data, we'll call it data, from thousands of kilometers away from the surface of Kerbin. And this is just one of a couple of satellites we're going to be sending. You already know. It's going to be quite the monumentous task to send all of these around. So here I am just checking out this satellite thing. I haven't played this game in a really long time. I'm pretty sure that's default KSP. It's really something I've never seen or messed with. I think you can actually mine stuff. So anyway, that one we just did was lateral orbit. Now we're going to do a longitudinal orbit going north, is what this will be. A orbit that is up and down. That is crucial for communications. You already know. We're obsessed with communications. We're trying to communicate. The big day of communication is here. We're gonna be able to go on massive missions. Maybe we're gonna send a rover to Duna. That might be something we got going on here, but the separation went very, very well right there. Not a problem at all. Very good separation. Separation of that decouple thing went awesomely as well. Nice big explosion. Exposes the satellite for communications. We're going to be communicating. Big time communications. And here we go. Getting in our longitudinal orbit, right? That's longitude. And then lateral was the other one. A very lateral orbit. Here I am checking out the satellite stuff some more, trying to get some data, and we're going to go into a big ol' burn and get our orbit going. This is going to make sure we have very sufficient communications. And during these missions, I set up a longitudinal and lateral orbit, I believe, on both the moon and Minmus as well. So there we are, set up with satellite. We got communication going on out here for the big time communications. Maybe you can try to say it with me. It's a good word to say, communications. It's a real big time word. And yeah, that orbit was extremely successful. So we're going to take another look at the ship there and get ourselves ready here for the next takeoff. I believe we are now trying to go around the moon here. M-U-N, moon, mun. I don't know. There's a umlauts above the U. So, but here we go. This might be the one that I just experienced a fault on the takeoff there. One of the decouple engines, and then that happens. That's not ideal. That was not ideal. I'm telling you what, right now, that was not an ideal scenario right there. Not too good. And then I try to fire the engine, save the satellite, and end up just going straight down into the wall or into the ground. So we're just gonna have to go ahead and reset that one. Try it again. And we might end up having a collision on the couple, the decoupling part, once we get up a little further here on this burn. But this is going to take a while to get ourselves to the moon. And I'm pretty sure we do take 2 missions to it. 2 decent missions, man. Telling you what, we're taking a couple missions. All the way to the MUN. Here comes the decouple. And it was successful. Alright. Not a problem this time. Who knows? I could be making stuff up. Maybe I'm not remembering right. I did make this recording quite a while ago. I do apologize. My upload schedule is all over the place on this channel. If you can't tell, we're really all over the place, doing all sorts of different kind of stuff. I got a couple different channels out here on YouTube. And that was a successful decoupling of the nose fairing, I'll call it. I believe that's what it's called. The old fairing thing that's on the nose that protects the payload. The payload fairing. Is it with a PH? I don't think so. It's probably with an F. F-E-R-R-I-N-G. But here we are, setting up our burn to meet up with the moon. we're going to try to fast travel there probably and get ourselves pointed and situated to get that nice fire going. Straight to the moon, and we have plenty of Delta V. I even had an excess of Delta V at the end of it, which I figured I would with how massive I made the spaceship over here. I know there's... Oh, look how beautiful this is. Very beautiful. I know there's like a specific Delta V number that'll get you to the moon, but I don't even remember what it is. You can see the atmosphere on the dark side of the Earth, or Kerbin. Now we're in an eclipse zone here between Kerbin and the sun, on our way to the moon. M-U-N. Mun. I don't know. Pretty sure it's just pronounced moon with umlauts. And now we're here. We'll be able to do our retrograde burn. Get to our retroactive burn stage here, or position. Get, I think, enough Delta V in this stage here to get us into orbit. Plenty of Delta V. Not a problem at all. Can you go ahead and fire this, John? Oh yeah. Not a problem at all. And Minmus, it really doesn't even take that much Delta V to get to Minmus. Less, honestly, to get into orbit and such. I believe. Maybe. Maybe not. And there we go. Successful mission to the moon. Setting up communications. And that was a lateral orbit there. Good distance from the surface. And I believe we're going to send another mission here to the moon to go in the longitudinal position right here. And we're going to be taking off at nighttime with our drone. Oh, and we instantly have a misfire at the top of it. This might be the one where, this might be it, that I've been talking about a couple times, where we do the decouple and we got a bit of a collision, a bit of an accident. I'm pretty sure that happens here. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong, honestly. We'll see. It's about to happen here any moment, and here we go. We're going to see what happens. Look how beautiful it is at night. Decoupled. Oh. That looked like a success, man. What an absolute massive, monumental success that was. Getting ourselves into orbit now to go back to the moon. Get into a longitudinal orbit. And like I've been saying, man, we're going to have some communications. Communications. Comms. Comsats. The Comsats. Communication satellite. Ooh, look at the sunrise. The sunrise over the old atmosphere there. Very, very nice looking. Very, very monumental as we get into orbit. And we're going to find ourselves a way to burn. Oh, excuse me. We're skipping the moon, man. We're not getting into a longitudinal orbit on the moon. We're going to Minmus. Still sitting here on this sunrise. We got the beautiful sunrise on the planet, the Kerbin Earth itself. Very picturesque. Very beautiful. Very awesome to see. And we're trying to get ourselves situated into our burn zone here before we do actually fire off for the burn. You know what I'm saying? We have to dial ourselves in on this burn here. I'm touching the microphone. That's the sound you're hearing right now. Don't worry about it. It's all good. We're in space. And you're watching an ASMR video, so that's to be expected. I'm going from one ear, hopefully, you know what I'm saying, all the way to a different ear over here. Communications comms. The CommSat. It took us a good amount of time here to get us into the proper situation to go to Minmus and not the moon. And it's time to fire, pretty much. Here we go. Locked in. Starting our burn. It's going to take a little bit of time. I do almost believe I get an interception with the moon on the way, but we bypass it, of course. No, we don't. Completely wrong about that, too. I'm just making stuff up over here left and right. It's my favorite thing to do. Now we're kind of hauling the mail here over the surface of Kerbin. And here we go. On for a big, long ride all the way to Minmus, which we haven't even set foot on Minmus yet. We have, first thing we did was set foot on the moon, which maybe I did that a little too early, but we're probably going to go do another manned mission to the moon, and then do a manned mission to Minmus. And, man, we're going to have to go try to go to another planet. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to go hit up Duna or something, or maybe try to build a base on Minmus, honestly. The Minmus base is kind of easy, or try to find a spot on the moon where there's a really flat area. It's kind of hard to find that, but obviously on Minmus, if you're familiar, a lot of it is really flat, really easy to deal with, very low gravity, you know, really easy to maneuver things if something falls over or something like that. It's pretty easy to lock in and get it going. But we're just situating ourselves here. I think I'm trying to get to the retrograde burn, get ourselves into orbit. And we're going to have to decouple this and fire the other engine right here. It does take kind of, if I remember right, it does actually take quite a bit delta V to get into orbit, because we're going so fast, and we end up going under 100 meters per second, I believe, around this place to get to orbit, which is quite crazy, but successful maneuver there for the robot. Very, very successful. Planet's very, very far away. And we are continuing our burn, which indeed does take some time there. But here we go. We're in a huge, weird orbit, and we're going to call that good enough. I accept that orbit. That will be able to keep us in communication. And bam, the single stage, we're going to fire the little ion engine, or, you know, whatever in the world it is. Maybe it's some radiation engine, something along the lines of that. But that's the missions. That was it. We sent our CommSats up into space, got them nicely in orbit, and in the next episode, we're going to continue working on the space station that we have in orbit, trying to get like a refueling situation set up for maybe a long distance mission, and just set up some communications there, and set something up and get ready to have another mission to the moon and get some guys out there, maybe set up a base, try to get that going. But this will be it. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully you're not even listening to this and you have fallen asleep and you have found some peace and relaxation watching this. Thank you very much, and just have a good one.